Hello, program review friends. This is Katie. I wanted to record a video to help with our mid-cycle updates this year for program review. There's basically three areas that you're going to be updating in Nuventive. And so I wanted to show you in Nuventive where those three areas are, just to make it easier for you to find when it's time for you to make those updates. So number one is a summary and reflection. I'll share with you where to find that. You're going to be updating your summary and reflection. Number two is the goals, action plans, and updates. So you're going to be adding updates to your action plans for the goals that you set. And then number three, what is number three? The resource needs. So you're going to be submitting any resource needs that you might have. So those are three areas that I'm going to show you right now. So let's start with summary and reflection. To find summary and reflection, you're going to go into your three horizontal bar menu and go into summary and reflection. And you will be able to edit this, open it. You will see on the screen this mid-cycle updates area. You're going to expand that and you'll see that there's a year 4. That's what we are in, year 4, 25-26. And in that section, you have fields that are editable here that you're basically going to use. So it even tells you, provide any edits or updates to the prompts in executive summary for year 4. So we're going to go to our executive summary that we wrote at the beginning of the cycle. And then we're going to go in and in this field, add any updates. So what are the year 4 successes and challenges in this case? It asks for data reflection. So let's look at our data reflection that we did at the beginning of the cycle. Here it is. What other updates do we have to that? So we can use these same prompts, trends, equity gaps, discussions that took place, etc., to provide that update. So even though it's just one line here, this is going to expand once you start writing in it. And so you can add a lot of text to that. All right. So there it is, 25-26. That's the first spot where you're going to be updating the summary and reflection. Okay. The next spot is going to the unit goals and action plans. So in unit goals and action plans, you are going to be noticing, just review the goals that you have for your program. You can add new goals if you wanted to. You don't have to. This is because it's an update year. You're more likely to be updating the action plans for the goals that you've already created. In order to do that, let's go into one of the goals. So we open up that goal. We can see the action plans that we set to lead us towards that goal. So we've got 3 action plans in this example. Now, we likely have updates to those action plans, right? We've been working on these things. We've been doing these things for the past year. So you're going to go into updates. So for each one of these actions, we can add our update for this past academic year, what we've been working on, what we've done since then. So last time we put an update in here was 23-24. Of course, this is just sample data. You guys will have an actual 24-25 update in here as well. But use that to kind of guide what your update is going to be for 25-26, right? This is about surveying employers. So I'm going to go into the plus sign and I'm going to say survey has been launched and we're waiting for it to close, whatever the update is. And then we choose our update year, 25-26. And are we still on track? If we're still on track, then we choose on track and we hit save. Maybe, let's click close and go back to another action plan. So there you see that it's been added to that action plan, the update. Let's say maybe we have an action plan that is now hitting a barrier. So we were on track last time, but let's go in here and add an update. And now we describe the barrier that we've hit for this action. And the update year is 25-26, and we've hit barriers encountered for that one. So for each one of these, you're just going to go through and add a 25-26 update, whether you're on track, whether you've got barriers encountered for each one of those. So those are your updates to your action plans and unit goals. Okay, that's your second update for program review. Your third update for program review is in resource needs. So you're going to find it here in resource needs, where you can see what you requested last cycle, right? So we can see what we requested. If we open these up, we can see how we we go to prioritization and scores. We can see how it was scored. We see that we did not get funding for this, and we go into open and we'll see how it was scored. So here's the scores that we got for the hula hooping equipment. It was ranked 4 out of 50, so it was actually pretty high, but we didn't get funding for it. If you want to copy your request from last year and ask for it again this year, you can do that. Let's see, where do we do that? We're going to go back to, let's close this. And if we're asking for hula hoop equipment again, we're going to say copy. And then we're going to say, also copy assessment method, also copy alignment. Yes. So you can decide if you want to copy those things and rewrite, though, your narratives so that it scores higher this time around because you didn't get it funded last time, right? And what was the other thing here? Right. The other thing is that when you're adding a new resource request, if it's a faculty request, there's a new naming standard. So just make sure that you're using the naming standard: assistant professor, department, discipline, and optional specialization for the title of your new faculty position, the hiring request for faculty. Okay. Notice while you're here that you've got some handy resources along the right-hand side of the pane. One is the resource prioritization rubric. So that will help you as you write those narratives to see how they're going to be scored. So make sure you make use of that resource. Another one is the data dashboard, as well as the other resources that you see here. So make sure to make use of those resources as you need them when you're writing your program review. And that's it. So that was the third area where you are updating for a program review this year. That was resource needs. We looked at unit goals, action plans, and updates, and we looked at summary and reflection. That's it for program review, as it's a mid-cycle update year this year. Have fun.